This past week, man. Oh, this past week has been a doozy. I tell you what, even just finding time to get things done has been hectic. But I think we managed to get some progress done, some decent progress. Yeah. But before we get to that, let's talk about art. So within game development, when we're talking specifically about art, there's like a lot of different areas that a person can specialize in. There's things like, concept artist, character artist, creature artist. You can be as a digital sculptor, you can be a hard surface modeler, environment artist, texture artist, animators, technical artists, material and shading art, like FX, UI. There's just a lot of different things. Luckily, there's a lot of overlap between these different specialties, right? Like a character artist might also dabble in like rigging a little bit, which is usually a technical art thing. Concept artists might also dabble in like digital sculpting. Usually people don't just wear a single hat. Like a lot of times they can do a lot of different things, which is good. It's a good thing. It makes life a little bit easier. Now, before I got into like game development specifically, my background is just as an artist, right? And when I was first learning, we touched on a lot of these topics, pretty much most of them. But towards the end, we were kind of given a choice of like 3 different areas we'd like to focus on. It was between environments, props, and characters. And, because I'm a friggin' hard-headed moron, because I'm a hardworking, ambitious go-getter, I chose characters. So when it comes to like characters, I've spent a lot of time studying things like anatomy, skin tones, all this stuff, and I have a decent amount of knowledge. And I'd like to think I know what I'm doing, not to toot my own horn. But when it comes to environments, I have no friggin' clue what I'm doing. Like, obviously, I know how to make things. I know how to model and texture and all that stuff. I'm more or less talking about like best practices, how the underlying technical stuff of how things should be put together, what to do, when, and what to do, when, and where. And what it really comes down to is just like a lack of experience on my part, right? So I just need to focus, sit down, and get some work done. And I know it'll all come together in the end. My first thought was that I was going to use something called a trim sheet. So if you don't know, a trim sheet is essentially a repeating texture that goes on forever in like 2 directions, right? And it's really useful for like if you want multiple different patterns, but you're going to use a bunch of them across different areas of a model. It can save you a lot of space, like memory-wise, as well as make things a little quicker and be more efficient, which is, awesome. It's really cool. So I tried it, I sat down, I texted my trim sheet out, and I started laying out my UVs, and man, the saloon came out looking dumb. Just looked stupid. It didn't work for me. All right. And like I said before, it's really probably just a lack of experience on my part when it comes to making environments, but I had to make the tough call, and, I killed it. Started over. So my next thought was to use a technique called modular building. And if you don't know what that is, essentially, instead of building out the entire piece in one go, you break it down into components, right? It's like making Lego pieces. And then when you have them all finished, you take all those pieces and you assemble them in the engine directly. This gives you the benefit of, being able to reuse the same pieces over and over again to create whole new things. And for me, it allowed me to essentially have a general idea of what I wanted things to look like without actually knowing what the final building would look like just yet. So yeah, let's do it. Let's make some Legos. So, full disclosure, I thought that I had recorded like a bunch of footage of me modeling this stuff, but apparently I did not. I forgot. My bad. But what I did capture was this footage of like this before, and like me texturing stuff, and then the after. So, that's pretty neat, I guess.
How neat is that?
yeah, so this is where we're at. I think it looks pretty good. I could be wrong. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Oh, I did want to take a moment and thank all of you guys who are watching and people who are commenting. You know, I see that, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you. We may have passed like the most important milestone, you know, but I'm just joking. But yeah, it's kind of cool to know that people are watching you. So if people are interested, you know, I'll keep doing this. I'll try and stay consistent. But yeah, until next time, take it easy.